Just like your home, your landscaping should reflect your own personal style. Do you want your garden to be the perfect spot to entertain your family and friends? Or maybe you want a tranquil, peaceful place to unwind. Whatever you're after, M&M Garden Designs has something for you. Owners Eric and Sandy Manna are here to show us how it's done. Welcome, guys. You guys are located in Madison, right?
Correct.
And you always think this is a simple thing. You just go buy some pretty colorful flowers and you plant them, but it's not that simple because you want things that complement each other. We were talking about this earlier, that flower maybe at the right time of year. So people come in with certain ideas in mind. What are some of the varieties?
Some of the varieties are, say, bird gardens or cut flower gardens, or maybe somebody wants something to look at during the winter months. Just because it's, winter doesn't mean that your garden shouldn't still look good.
And you have some examples of them. So let's start with the bird gardens. If you do want to attract birds to your yard, what should you do? What should you plant?
Birds like things with berries. It gives them a good source of nutrition.
So it's this section over here then, right?
Yep.
So what are the types of things that we have here?
So this is a chokeberry, and it has, birds love this. It has a lot of great berries. And then this right here is a holly, and it also has berries, and it provides some evergreen screening for them as well. Hummingbirds are attracted to anything with a tubular flower, so like a honeysuckle here or a weigela over here. Evergreen plants as well. This is a golden arborvitae. So there's a lot of things that you want to take into consideration. So berries, shelter, what kinds of flowers.
So now are these going to attract birds, but then unfortunately also maybe attract deer or other animals to your yard? Should you take that into consideration as well?
You definitely should.
Something else to think about. I think we actually have a picture of a bird garden that we should take a look at. And I'm assuming also bird houses and bird baths help as well, right?
They do help to lure the birds in and give them a friendlier environment to live in.
Absolutely. And you say we should even consider baby birds. How so?
When the babies leave the nest, they need something that's easy for them to land on, something that's not far from the nest. So a shrub like this that has a lot of branches is a very easy place for them to land.
Okay, and if you have cats, is that something else to keep in mind?
Definitely something else to keep in mind. Not really a good idea to attract birds if you have outdoor cats.
And you don't necessarily have to start from scratch. I mean, you can work this into your existing landscape, right?
Absolutely.
What is a moon garden? That's something else, and I think you have another example behind us.
Right here behind us.
A moon garden is a garden that's planted specifically to be enjoyed at night, particularly during a full moon.
Okay. And how so?
A lot of
What is specific about the moon garden?
It has primarily either white flowers or light colored foliage, like this Artemisia, or this is a euchera. So different things that the moonlight can reflect off of. These plants really pop at night, and when they're got the moonlight shining on them, they really, really reflect.
Yeah, we're looking at an example of a moon garden right now, something that I wouldn't even think of, but it's more of a romantic, peaceful feel, right?
It is. This way you can enjoy your garden into the evening.
And you say you can use accent pieces and water. How can you incorporate those?
It's nice to hear the sound of water trickling. It's another way just to enjoy your garden and relax. Little accent pieces like small white statuaries, those also show up at night, especially when the moon is shining.
Is this something, a moon garden, that you get a lot of requests of? Because it's something that I would have never thought of before.
They're becoming very popular.
Huh. Okay, now this one I love because you say you can create a cutting garden. And essentially, if you're like me, I always like to have fresh flowers inside the house. I think it just adds something. And I love hydrangea. It's one of my favorites. So you want to plant things in your cutting garden that you can chop and then bring inside and then put it in a vase. So what are you looking for in terms of that? I mean, obviously things that you're going to be able to cut easily and they're going to look nice in a vase.
Right. You're looking for things that have a long, sturdy stem, like either this hydrangea or this Asiatic lily. Things that will look good in the vase, colors that will complement each other, and things that will, that have a long enough, strong enough stem to sit in a vase nicely.
And should you separate this type of garden from your other ones? Because I'm thinking, especially with the hydrangeas in my yard, if I'm cutting a lot from them and putting them in vases, it's going to get sparse after a while. Do you want to incorporate them with other plants so it doesn't look so empty in spots?
You can incorporate them with other plants. You just have to be careful how much you cut. It's also nice if you're planting specifically a cutting garden. It's also nice to have it on an area of your property where it doesn't matter. It's not quite as visual because the whole purpose of the garden is to cut the flowers and bring them in.
So maybe even along the backyard, along the property
along the wood line.
Where it's not a real main focus point of your garden, so that way you're not seeing that you're cutting off the nice blooms because you want to enjoy them inside.
Here's an example of a cutting garden as well. I have to pick your brain about hydrangea though, because I'm very curious, and someone had mentioned to me that if you love the color of hydrangea and you want to change the color of yours in your yard, it's just a matter of changing the type of soil, because I have blue ones right now.
Correct.
But I could change them to pink?
You can, depending on the kind of hydrangea that you have. You can change the color of the hydrangea. Connecticut soil is typically very acidic, so if you want to change the color of the hydrangea, you just change the pH either by adding something like holly tone to make it more acidic or lime to make it a little bit more alkaline.
And there are specific flowers or types of flowers that work better in a cutting garden? Or
things like hydrangea work very well. They also look good when they're dried. Echinacea or coneflower is another one. Roses, obviously, everybody loves roses.
Yes.
Lilies. I also like to incorporate some annuals like this Gerber daisy.
daisies, yeah.
So particularly with annuals, when you keep cutting them, they keep flowering.
All right, well, listen, if you have more questions or you want information, you can contact M&M Garden Designs yourself. They are in Madison, as we mentioned. Eric and Sandy, there's the information on the screen. You can always get more information by coming to our website, WTNH.com, and click on the Connecticut Style link. Thanks for coming in.